Hello everybody, this is Toys R Us, and for this special figure showcase and review we're going to be looking at the 1986 Autobot triple changer Springer. So what we're going to do in this video, we're going to have a detailed look at him in all of his modes to help you decide how you want to display him. I'll show you the accessories that come with him to help you know if yours is complete. I'll point out some things that you need to be aware of if you have to purchase one for yourself. We can then have a look at how Springer's changed through the years in the Generations toy line, and as I'm lucky enough to have a couple of different types of packaging, we can have a look at the artwork and the fantastic battle scenes on the back of that. Right, let's get started. And I have to confess, this is one of my favourite figures, and I just think it's a great character as well, in honesty. So if we have a look at the figure, yes, he is super blocky, and yes, he's not basic, but he's just blocky and he lacks quite a bit of articulation. Obviously, with him being a Generation 1 figure, I suppose you can say that he's got bicep flexion there, shoulder maybe movement, because this moves out a little bit, but that is, of course, mainly due to transformation purposes. He's got quite a good head sculpt, to be honest. And of course, that's pretty much it with regards to articulation. There's no waist swivel, and the legs, as you can see, are all fused. But again, I think he looks great. Things to be aware of are quite obvious when you've got him in this robot mode. Stickers are huge. Stickers play a really big part. Without the stickers, he can look very, very basic and very, very dull. You can get some repro labels if you wanted to, but it's just something to be aware of for yourselves. You can also see that there's lots of metal in here as well, and it's quite common for these to get corroded screws, and the tyres are rubber, so they can also perish away, unfortunately. This bit that keeps swinging round and round, we might as well have a quick look at it now. This is the rotor blades for the helicopter, which doubles up as a sword, so that's something to be aware of. Excuse the glare, there we go. And you can see there's some chrome on here, and there's a bit of chrome fade there as well. Chrome fade is something to be aware of with regards to the weapons. This is how they would fold out like that, and it would just sit in the roof, as you can see there. So we might as well have a look at the helicopter mode next. And again, I love it. I think it's great. Just brilliant, to be honest. You can see we've got the chrome fade there though, and you can see that the stickers again are still playing a bit of a part here. That's someone else, previous owner's own handiwork on there. That shouldn't be drawn on. The rub sign is indented in here. If you've got a Springer without this indentation, that could be that it was released in the Classics box a few years later. Some of the Classics figures that were released a bit later didn't have the indentation inside it. But now you see, I mean, you've got the rotor blades which spin fully round. You can also see here that this does fall victim to chrome fade, but again, this is just a brilliant mode, to be fair. One thing we will talk about while we're talking about accessories is that the good thing is that if you've got none, as you can see by them, the two robots, I'll explain more about him in a second, is you can get away with displaying him in robot mode without the accessories. I've also had some in the past before I upgraded this, which didn't even have these parts to the side of the leg. These are completely snapped off, but again, you could still get away with displaying them like that. Right, here's the third mode then. This is the armoured car, and again, this is where you can see the tyres more and the chrome inside the wheels, and yet again, even more metal to be aware of. This is quite a basic mode, but it's just a nice little bonus. This is the other weapon that comes with him. And again, you can see this unfortunately is a victim of chrome fade. It's gone all green, and the part at the back is really faded there. But I mean, look, if you haven't got any weapons, you could display them in this mode, no problem whatsoever. Again, stickers are playing the main part. Helicopter, obviously, you wouldn't even really know it's a helicopter if you didn't have the rotor blades. So it's one of them ones that's a little bit tricky, but you can get away without the blades, without the blades for the armored car and the robots. Now, if you're wondering why there's two robots here, I'm going to bring them both closer to you. This one on this side, which you can maybe just make out that the yellow chest is in fact a little bit darker. That's because this is actually made out of die cast. So this is one of the first releases. A lot of the figures in 1986 first issues had die cast pieces. So like Hot Rod had metal toes, so did Rodimus Prime. Cup had metal wheels. Sandstorm also had metal on him, and of course so did Springer on his chest. Let's have a quick look then at some of the packaging variants. So what we've got here is this is the original Hasbro box. So we've got some beautiful artwork there of Springer, Great artwork there, the transformation, some of the process on the top there. And then if we spin it round, because it was 1986, we've got the Titans there. So there is, of course, Triptychon and Metroplex in their base modes, with a lot of the figures that were released in that particular year. Funnily enough, like Hot Rod, there's Springer, and of course there's Silverbolt. There's the tech specs, looking really nice. And then we can have a look at the Japanese one. Now, this is my latest addition to the collection. Artwork's exactly the same. Box just looks a little bit darker. For those of you unaware about Japanese figures, the C stood for Cybertrons, which was, of course, Autobots. Transformation process is the same, just more spread out. And you can see that the box is much, much smaller. And that's because they used polystyrene inserts rather than bubbles, and I think it's personally it's just a little better. It helps secure the figure and keep it looking neater. We've still got the same artwork on the back, but again it just looks a little darker. Let's have a quick look inside nice and carefully just to show you. So here we go. If we bring this out, you can see it's even got C84 on the back, so that's how you know that you've got the correct polystyrene, even though obviously the shape would give it away as well. Now this one is pretty much unused contents, so there's the extra bit of tape holding that in. You can see what I mean about the chrome now, how bright it should be compared to this particular one here. Look at the difference. That one's actually dazzling. I apologize for the reflection back. And the chest looks plastic, to be honest, but I don't want to push it out. I'm just going to pop that there for a second because there's the instructions in here, and although I haven't got the standard instructions to hand, I just wanted to show you the difference in the Japanese ones, because the Japanese ones folded out like this rather than just the cascade open and close standard Hasbro ones. Right, one last box to show you before we do some comparisons, and that is the classics one there. You can see in the gold box. So the gold box versions were the ones that came out in the UK, Europe, and some in Canada, I think. They come in different languages. This one's just the standard English writing box, because obviously all the writing is in English. I know what I'm saying sounds really obvious, but as I've just said, there's different language ones. So there's a Spanish version, and there's a Canadian and French one, French and Dutch one as well. For people who want to know, this was graded at UK Graders. It got a 75. It's got the lovely Woolworths price sticker there, which of course is a toy shop, or shop rather, that went bust decades ago now. And on the back we've got quite a boring, in all honesty, battle display scene. This is basically again just advertising the classics range that they released. It wasn't the hugest lineup, but it was just mainly the Combiner teams, the original 4, and a few of the Autobot cars, and a couple of the Decepticon triple changes. Right, one last thing to do. Let's have a quick look at how Springer has improved over the years then. So we've got, first and foremost, we've got the Thrilling 30, or T30 as he is known, which is that one, as you can see. And this guy's huge. This is a Voyager Class 1. It's all right. I suppose it's okay. It's better than all right. But this one is far superior, even though he's a right pain to transform. But you can see the progression over the years there of how the figure has improved. There you go. Anyway, guys, I hope this helped you with your decision if you wanted to get one for yourself. There are quite a few points to be aware of and to look out for if you are looking out for one yourself. But he's just a great figure with great playability. Transformation process for all 3 modes will be on a separate video if you'd like to watch that. And if you'd like to see any other figure showcased, of course, just leave me a comment. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Take care. Thanks for watching. Like and comment. And don't forget to subscribe.